Humans are amazing at way overcomplicating absolutely everything. We do it as if we want to actually fail at stuff, especially when it comes to in relation to habits. If you want to improve your habits, the trick here is make them easy. So, Alphas, welcome back to the show. Andy Naylor here, founder and CEO of Naylor Body Design, and your host. If we want to start to change our habits, better our habits, then first of all, we need to make the cue obvious. If we want to add a habit in, for example, if you need to drink more water, you would have your water bottle near you all of the time. It's obvious, you know that then it's going to remind you. Then you need to make the craving attractive. You need to make what it is that you're going to do something that you want to do. Now we look at step 3, the response, the actual thing. So not that you've seen something, not that you now desire something, but now you're actually going to do something. This is the maybe mental or physical action that you take that is the habit itself, the response. And this is really easy. It sounds like this should be the area that will be the most difficult, but I think this is the most easy. We need to make the required response easy, right? Whatever it is that you need to do to form a habit, why don't we just make it easy? We don't need to make things difficult. Think about this. The easier something is to do, the less friction to do it, the more chance you've got of doing it. Doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. Remember, it's not how people are like, oh, how long would it take for me to get a habit in place? It's not how long you are doing an action for that makes it become a habit. It's how many repeated rewardable actions you take, not how long. Because in 6 months you could do something twice. It's not how. Let's imagine in a week you did something 50 times. There's more chance in a week that 50-time thing becomes a habit because it's repeatable, rewardable actions over and over again, okay? The easier the action, the more it gets repeated, the more chance it sticks. Keep things easy. Here's a little example. This is direct from the book Atomic Habits. Imagine you're holding a hose pipe, garden hose pipe, right? Water, the hose pipe has got a kink in it, right? As they bloody well often do, right? So you've got a hose pipe, you're trying to water your plants, and there's a kink in it. The water is struggling to get through, right? Pressure's gone down, water can't get through. You need more water so you can water your plants. You've now got 2 options. You either crank up the pressure, right, to try and get more water through, or you remove the kink, make it easy for the water to get through, right? That's the mindset you want to have when you're trying to create good habits. Trying to stay motivated to stick to a really hard, difficult habit would be the same as trying to pump up the pressure on the hose. It isn't the best solution. It's not the wisest option. It's far wiser if you pick the route that's going to give you the less friction. But ultimately, it's far wiser if you begin to adapt your environment to make less friction for you to do whatever it is you need to do. And obviously, then habit formation becomes easier. So here's the first thoughts when it comes to try and make response easy. And what you will find is a lot of these things here also link back to the cue, which is make it obvious. I think there's a lot of parallels and crossover between these 2 areas. So prime your environment. This, again, from the book Atomic Habits, was something about resetting your room, putting things in place. So one, it's obvious, but also it's easy for you to do. You could make something obvious, but that's not the thing that you needed to do. The obvious cue could be not the technical thing. This is where the difference is. Okay, so here's some examples. So let's imagine you need to hit your water goal, right? Well, okay, so both you have your water bottle near you all the time, so the cue is obvious because it's the bloody water, but also your response is easy because the water's right in front of you. These 2 cross completely over, okay? Need to hit your water, right? Adapt your environment, make your response easy. And the response is you just need to pick up your water and eat it. You can try and pick up your water and eat it. Good luck with that. Pick up your water and drink it. Let's imagine you need to hit the gym really early in the morning. So how about you prep your gym kit and put the gym kit in a bag by the door, ready for the morning? It's not necessarily the cue, because the cue could have been an alarm or something else further up the sort of stream. But now you've created, your response is, well, half the job is done. My gym kit is already there. It's easier to go to the gym, and therefore the habit just gets easier to do on a more regular basis. If you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I haven't got my water ready, I haven't got my gym kit ready, do you know what? Sod it, I'm going to go back to sleep. The response was more difficult. You keep forgetting to take your health supplements. How about you put them by your toothbrush? Okay, so now we've got the cue is having your health supplements obvious to you by your toothbrush, because you're probably going to see your toothbrush at least twice a day. But then also your response to take them is really easy, because there they are in the right place at maybe a time when you're near some water and might be thinking about taking them. The cue and the response, both easy. One obvious, one easy. Let's imagine you need to have a digital cutoff at night to get away from backlit devices and so forth. How about you just set an alarm on your phone, which makes your response easy, because it's like, oh, there's the alarm, turn everything off. Do you see how simple this stuff really is? But you've got to put the thought process into, this is the thing I need to achieve. I need to make it obvious. I need to make the craving something I want, i.e. better sleep. So I need to make my response easy. Well, I'll remind myself to get away from backlit devices by setting an alarm. It's logical. Don't overthink this stuff. I think this is where people fall down quite a lot. One, maybe not understanding the layers of what has built a habit out, or what it would take to build that habit, but how bloody simple it really is if you just formulate it like this. All these responses just made really easy by adapting environment, by putting something somewhere, using something, making our chance as busy people to make the response easy. Alphas, I interrupt this show with a simple message. This show is here to benefit you and your progression to the best version of yourself. But not only just you, it's also here to benefit the people around you, your loved ones, your friends, other alphas in your vicinity. So why not do a really cool thing today? Something that I would thank you for, and maybe someone else would. Share this podcast with at least one other alpha out there who you know would benefit from it. Why not share the information, share the ability for someone else to grow? I'm sure they would thank you. I 100% would absolutely thank you. This podcast only grows by our listeners, our followers doing amazing things like giving us 5-star reviews, downloading podcasts, subscribing, and then of course sharing it with other people. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Share it with one person, and of course drop us a 5-star review, download the podcast, and of course subscribe. And now back to the show. Another response or action-based hack is something called the 2-minute rule. So one, our attention span as humans is shocking. So bringing something down to less time is really nice for us all. So, but quite often when we pick big goals, that sometimes can require big habit change to get there. Okay. And big habit change in one go tends to lead to inevitable failure, pretty much, right? Like I think it's fair to say that that's what happens to most people. So how about we don't set big habits? We roll them back to something that's, again, simpler, but let's see if we can create something that is inside 2 minutes, because most of us could dedicate 2 minutes to something, or at least the very first part of it, the very first part of an action, just 2 minutes. So I need to go to the gym. Like, well, clearly going to the gym is going to take longer than 2 minutes, but how about we roll the habit back to the habit is literally just, I need to put my gym kit on. Right. So now the actual habit is not go to the gym. The result that we probably want is to go to the gym, but we've hacked it back to, okay, the habit, I just put my gym kit on. So if your habit is just to put the gym kit on, that's fairly easy and it only takes a short amount of time. Guess what? The chances you put your gym kit on, you probably go, well, I might as well go to the gym now. It's that. It sounds like a little, I always think this sounds a little bit silly, but it could help somebody in a certain circumstance, in a certain situation, to break down a habit to the easiest action. Just need to put my gym kit on. Let's imagine you want to read more and you want to read before you go to bed. Well, just 2 minutes, read 1 page. The actual habit is you just need to read 1 page. Now, if you only read 1 page, you're successful. The chances are if you read 1 page, probably going to read another, I think fair to say, at least maybe another. But the actual habit is 1 page. So you can be successful and gain momentum really easy. Now, you're probably going to end up reading 10. Be serious about setting tiny goals. Simple. There's nothing wrong with simple. Simplicity in our lives is a skill, because as humans, what are we really good at? Way overcomplicating absolutely everything. We're brilliant at it. We have an inherent desire to do it, so that when we don't achieve something, it's like, well, of course I couldn't, because the thing was so difficult. Right, give yourself a chance of achieving something rather than just mediocrity, unless that's what you want, which I don't think it is. So make good habits inevitable. Make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Another hack for response: automate stuff. You've got so much tech at your fingertips. Your phone, for a start, right? Set alarms. Easy. I used to set alarms to make myself eat every 3 hours until you just get kind of used to doing it. Or when you need to, drink, or to get you to bed earlier, like use alarms, use reminders. Okay. Maybe use, if you struggle with food, maybe use grocery ordering services or meal prep services, meal delivery services. In your grocery shopping online, maybe use pre-saved shopping lists. These are just silly little things, but they can create a habit that you just shop for the right things every week. Therefore, the knock-on effect is you eat the right food, right? But the 2-minute goal here, for example, although we're automating something, but the 2-minute goal is I'll order from my automated shopping list. I only need to do that. But then the knock-on effect is you're probably going to eat a lot better because the right food comes into the house. That's a big one, right? Okay. Auto health tracking in apps is another really useful one. I need to improve my steps. Okay, well, I'll just look at the steps that I did yesterday from my health tracking app. That's the 2-minute habit that you need to do. Chances are that's going to make you want to go and walk. If you're competitive, you'll want to beat the steps from yesterday, but also you've used an app to make it easy for you. Simple stuff, guys. Like, it's really easy when you start to break down what a habit could and couldn't look like. And if you have a desire to change your habits, which we should all have some desire to change habits, because we should all be, well, I hope we're all looking to improve ourselves. That's why we're all here. And habits, if they're 50% of what we do automated every single day, then we should be focusing on that stuff. We should be focusing on that. If it's 50 or even more of what we're doing and it's just happening unconsciously, those habits, there's a fair chance that those habits are taking us off in a direction that we're not completely satisfied or happy with, or not aligned with our goals. So we should be focused on them. The conscious stuff that we're doing, we should know whether we're doing right or wrong, but it's conscious. We've got more chance of changing that. So the underlying stuff, which is all the habitual stuff, we need to be really focusing on and working on, and using this framework: cue, craving, response, reward, thinking about these things. Are these things serving me? Is this habit serving me? Yes, no. Do I need to put in something else? Yes, I need to drink more water. Okay, right. Okay, so I need to find the cue. What is the cue? Put the water out. I need to make, the craving something I want. Well, you'll be more hydrated. You'll probably sleep better. You'll probably perform better. You'll probably, like, the responses, or the craving there is pretty obvious. Make it easy, i.e. make sure you've always got water in the house. Right? It's planning, basically. If you want to think about habits, if you just plan things out sensibly, very simply and logically, you will start to make less friction around new habits, and they've got more chance of being repeated, more chance of being rewarded. You've got more chance of sticking to them. That is today. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Drop a like, drop a comment. I will see you on the next episode. Over and out.